I have in my hand the Televes wireless AV TV sender. Basically, this is a SCART sender. What we're trying to do is trying to take the output from a set-top box and send it wirelessly to a second location in a house or a building. And we want to be able to view the picture in the other location and change channels on it. It's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. So I'm just going to say, if you're sending it this way, SCART, it's basically an analog, standard definition way of doing it. There's a high definition way of doing this as well. We have that product on our website. It's much more expensive, well, about double the price. So, this one here is still a very attractive offer because the picture quality is good and people live with analog for a long time and thought it was good. We went for Televes because we wanted a brand that we knew would be good and would definitely work, okay? So, virtually everything you need is going to come in this box. We add in 3 additional parts. We add in plugs just to make sure it's a 3-pin plug version that you get. And then we add in this RCA to SCART adapter because the one that comes with is set up for European TVs. So this is the small one here, and that's no good, okay? So that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 3 possible setups here. The first one is the set-top box running directly through a lead over to the television. We have it working. The second one is we'll actually come along and we'll set this up and send it to the second location wirelessly. And the third one is I'll just show you how you would set it up to be able to change the channels remotely and how that works, okay? So the lead's there, we can see the set-top box connected, and that's the first one, okay? So this would be local television straight to it. And indeed, if you can imagine this set-top box, you could have it set up in your local television with a HDMI lead, and then you're sending it to a second television using the free SCART output on it, okay? So I'm just disconnecting that there now. And, oops. I'm going to talk now, guide you through, let's say, setting this up to send the picture to a second television. So what I'm doing here is, this comes effectively pre-assembled. We have an RCA output on it, and it comes down with an RCA to SCART adapter, okay? And you really can't go wrong with this particular one, and the reason you can't go wrong with this, it's color-coded, okay? Yellow. And what we're going to do now is, I'm just going to plug this directly in here. There's no switch or anything like that, so there's no setting on it. And it says transmitter on it, so once again it makes it incredibly easy. And we have this power unit here that's coming thanks to us with a 3-pin plug. And we push the power unit in here directly, and the power unit goes in there, okay? Now just note here that we have 3 dipole switches here, okay? So 3 dipole switches because it's a binary system, we give it a total of 8 different settings on it, okay? Now, 99% of people buying this office will not need to change this. As long as 3 switches are down here and down here, they're set up to talk to each other. The reason that they have that switch thing is if you had multiple of these in a single area, what you would need at that point in time is you would need possibly to change it to a different setting so they won't interfere with each other. But in the general thing, this will work straight. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to plug this directly in. So now we have the signal coming in, we have the power coming off it, and this is now broadcasting wirelessly the SCART input that it's receiving in. And what we need on the far side is this unit here to come and thing. And if we look at this one here, it'll say RX in the bottom because it's the receiver unit. So basically what we need to do here is we need to come along and I'm just going to plug the power unit in first, so it's in a position to come and pull the signal in. We don't have an RCA input on the television, so I'm going to add in this little adapter here that I have to convert it over to SCART, which we do have on this television. Now we had RCA inputs on the television, you just use it directly like that. And what I'm just going to do is to demonstrate what I'm doing is I just have a little SCART cable here, and this just slides in directly into the back of the TV, and you can just see what I'm doing here. Normally you just push it directly in, but it's just easier to demonstrate doing it this way. And what do we have here? Bang, we have the picture, and if we turn the volume up, we'll have that working. So this is not complicated. So obviously we have this set up in the one table, but normally what we'd have is we'd have this in the living room and this is in the spare bedroom or the master bedroom, just trying to beam the signal down. So you could be doing it here with a freeware box like this, but you could be doing it with a DVD player, you could be doing it with a skybox, something like that, okay? So just sending it over to a further location. Now you come along and you say, well actually it's not enough there, I want to grab the remote control that comes with this set-top box and aim it over here. Well, in this case here, the actual sensor for picking up the signal would be built into the receiver unit here. But remember, the receiver unit here is actually going to be sending, for the control signals, it's effectively like a transmitter. It's picking up a signal from the remote control and it sends it all the way back over here, okay? So if we look at the back of this unit here, which is next to the set-top box, there's a little IR port here on it. So I'm just going to come along and just going to put it in there. And what I'll do here is I'll unfurl this, and there's a little IR sensor on it and some sticky things. I'm going to stick this right into front of the box, right in front of where the IR sensor on the box is. So all of a sudden now, I press the remote control, have the remote control over here, I press it, the signal goes down, sent wirelessly from there over to here, comes back and sends it into the box and says change channels or turn the volume up or something on the box, or do whatever you want it to do anywhere, put the thing. So bring up the information button on it. So it's very, very smooth. I like this one here. The key thing on this is, if you're looking and comparing, we'll say wireless senders that are out there, there's two types out there. You can go for a 2.4 gigahertz, or you can go for a 5.8 gigahertz. This is 5.8. 2.4 is the most incredibly crowded space you can ever imagine. You're going to pick up so much interference with it that in about 50% of the locations it will not work, or certainly won't work well. 5.8 is more expensive technology. For that reason, there's far less interference on that spectrum, and it's much better to go that way. So for the last number of years, in the very early days, maybe 10 years ago, we used to go with 2.4. Everything now is 5.8. So that's it anyway, an overview of the Televes wireless AV SCART sender, available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie.